Welcome back to the podcast, everyone. I'm your host, Tamara. Today, we are back with our fantasy series and discussing the final book in the Starlights Shadow Trilogy. If you would like to see this in video format without the ad breaks, you'll need to head on over to Patreon and sign up. We also have after shows available, as well as other fun things that you don't find on the feed. If you're listening on the Speaker app, you also have access once you sign up as a supporter, so you'll get all the after shows and more in audio format. But again, if you like video, head on over to Patreon. Don't forget, you can also join me and my two co-hosts over on the Book Clubs app for even more book chats. Please subscribe and like the podcast wherever you're listening. If you want to reach out to me, you can find me everywhere at Shelf Addiction. Joining me today is featured co-host Casey from Heart Full of Ink. Welcome back, Casey.
Hello. I'm so excited to be here.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a fun one today.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, tell everybody where they can find you online.
You can find me on Facebook at Heartful of Ink, on Instagram at Casey_Heartful of Ink, or on my website, heartfulofink.com.
Okay, so before we get started, as always, we want to remind you that with book chats, we talk full spoilers here, so spoiler alert, you have been warned. Today, we are discussing Capture the Sun, written by Jesse Mahalik. The audiobook is narrated by Frankie Corsa. It was published July 20th, 2023 by Harper Voyager and Harper Audio. The paperback is 419 pages. The unabridged audio comes in at 12 hours and 28 minutes. Casey, would you kindly share the synopsis?
As a recovery specialist, Lexi Bowen's jobs typically require more trickery and thievery than honest work. Her former captain might not approve of her flexible morals, but stealing artifacts for rich assholes pays the bills, and Lexi's had enough of war and death. The FHP has left her to die once. She doesn't plan on giving them the chance to finish the job. Unfortunately, her latest contract takes her to Volovia itself, and right back into the orbit of Nilo Shorin, a Volovian teleporter who already cost her one payday and nearly stole her heart. Armored against his clever charm, Lexi plans to get in, get the job done, and get out. But when her former crew goes missing in Volovian space, Lexi will have to work with Nilo to figure out what happened and stop it before the galaxy's two superpowers can use the disappearance as an excuse to return to war.
Okay, high level. Casey, as we do, what did you think once you finished the book?
Thank God it's over. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
No, why are you apologizing? That was me the other week, and now here you are apologizing. No.
I do want to say some nice things about the book, because at the end of book 2, we asked for some very specific things, and technically we got them with this book. So I want to point that out right away. Like last time we talked about how, the sex is always in the last chapter and it's very rushed and kind of not good at all. There was more sex in this book, and it was slightly better.
It was a little better.
Better. Not good, but better. So I have to give her props for that.
Mm-hmm.
Last time we also asked for more PTSD and actual trauma from the war, and we got a smidgen of that. a very tiny smidgen. But it was mentioned more here than with Key, so I want to give her props for that, because we asked for it, and we got it.
Mm-hmm.
But I hated everything else.
Oh, shit. Okay, so my high level was, I literally finished this book 20 minutes ago.
Mm-hmm.
I was coming in, at the 9th hour, like, okay. Skating by, I got it down. Shoo! And then I said, damn, we said we would read this short story. That was the first thing.
Oh, I forgot about that.
At the top of my mind was, shit, we said we were going to read this short story for Patreon. So we're not done. And that made me sad.
At least it's a prequel, so we won't have to deal with the lovey-dovey stuff. Maybe it'll be more interesting because it'll be all focused on whatever they're doing.
I don't know. So, like you mentioned, there were things that we asked for, and we got some of them. So I think I got a small snippet of what I asked for. Mm-hmm. I was utterly disgusted with the amount of food that was brought up in previous books.
Yes.
And this one did have it, but I feel like it was actually in the correct context this time.
Yes.
And it was like bracketed on the beginning of the end. It wasn't food, food, food all throughout the entire book. So
yes, we have to give her
I was
props for
like,
that.
yeah, I was like, okay, yeah, this is better because, you know, it was tradition what, you know, they were doing the food and it was explained better. And like I said, it just wasn't throughout the entire thing. So I thought that was a step up. So
yes, we have to give her props where props are due.
Yes. I think that overall, I like this better than the previous books, but I still wasn't grabbed.
Same.
Yeah.
It was good and it was better. And I kept comparing it to the last book and Key's book. And I was like, okay, she's doing it right this time. This is better. I like this better than what happened last time. But there were so many things wrong with it and that annoyed me. And I wish this wasn't science fiction. I wish this didn't take place in space. If it had just been like a normal paranormal book on contemporary human Earth without space, I think this would have been really, really good.
Okay, so let's dive into your issues because I'm usually the one always complaining right out the gate. So let's swap it up this time. I'll let you go with yours first.
Well, okay, I have a list.
Okay, let's do it.
Lexi is dumb. Lexi is very childish. Lexi has not grown up since she was 16, doing whatever she wanted to do. Very much like Key, although she did feel slightly older than Key. But she is very head up her ass, just dumb. Nilo, like, okay, so she hates Nilo because he stole a job from her. And she's like, basically, I was in love with you because you flirted with me. And then you left me and now I hate you forever. And I'm like, what in the 16-year-old bullshit is this?
Yeah, she definitely had like an insta-love situation going on with him. And then she felt so rejected and
embarrassed. And she's like, you flirted with me and then you stole my job. So I have to hate you. And you can't possibly like me because you flirted with me and left me. And I'm like, what?
Yeah, she thinks she's this awful person. And it kind of comes out in their conversations at the end. You know, she really is like, you should find someone better than me. And he's like, I want you.
He's like, I have loved you from the first moment I flirted with you. And I'm like, are you guys really 16? Like, you saw a hot person and flirted with them.
Yeah.
And then it didn't work out. And now you're just utterly heartbroken forever in the rest of your life. Like,
they were proclaiming love very quickly.
He was doing it right in like chapter 2.
Yeah, right out the gate. Even though she was acting dumb about it. I'm like, you know what he's saying to you.
Yeah, no, she is smart enough to know exactly what he was saying, exactly what he was doing, and she was kind of skirting around it. And then jumping to the very end, she's like, oh my God, he called me his heart, but that doesn't mean he loves me. So now I'm heartbroken. I have to attack him and run away. And I'm like, you stupid
girl. That's what it is. You stupid girl.
Yeah, you stupid girl. Really, you are a 16-year-old dumb girl who has never had any sort of relationship. And it's very frustrating because normally, you know, in romance novels, we have the 21, 22-year-old heroines. And I can kind of forgive them because they're young and dumb. When you're 30, 31 and you're acting this dumb, no. And
she's like, too old
I've
for
never
this.
been in love before, except here's the 10 people who I do love because they're my family, but they can't love me. And I'm like, every single book, everybody's always like, where's Lexi? Why isn't Lexi staying with us? We want Lexi with us.
She runs away from everything. She just rather, you know, she'd rather fly around the galaxy stealing than deal with her emotions.
And she's so dumb about that too. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. She's so dumb about that. I cannot. Yeah. She was like, oh my God, Volovia, they, you know, it's a scary place. I shouldn't be here, but I want money. So I'm going to go in and sneak in anyway. She gets caught before she even lands. Like, literally gets caught before she lands. And then later at the end of the book, when Key's like, oh, we need to go back and get pretty dresses. She's like, yeah, I can get in, no problem. I'm like, bitch, no. No, you can't.
Yeah.
You got
like,
caught
why would she even say that?
immediately. You got caught before you even, like, walked in the door. There was 30 guards waiting for you.
She actually even said earlier in the book that she had no desire to go back there. So,
but pretty dresses. She needs pretty dresses because she is that shallow and dumb and money hungry, which is another thing we've talked about in the past 2 books where we're like, God damn it, if she worries about paying him back. And at least this time she's rich enough that she didn't worry, but she kept going, ouch, I paid for premium price and that hurt my bank. And I'm like, did it really?
Well, let's just not miss that Nilo? He was like constantly using Torrens money the whole time. He's like, yeah, this is another one of his accounts. Don't worry about it.
Which, what the fuck? So yeah, no, Lexi was dumb just about everything all of the time. Nilo, why is he in love with her?
I don't know. And
he saw a pretty girl and flirted with her, and then he's just in love with her forever and has to start cooking for her. Like, I save you. I know you're here, so I'm going to save you and cook for you because I love you. Like,
I think that's what was missing. We don't know why he loves her or why he's so... I mean, what is it about her?
She's pretty. And she wears nude high heels that make her several centimeters taller. And she looks so cool and pretty in her heels and aloof. And I don't know. Like, we missed their whole immediate falling in love scene because we just got the flashback. Or we didn't even get a flashback. We just got we flirted and then he stole my job. So now I have to hate him. And that was it.
And I think it makes it harder to swallow because I'm not a reader who likes the love at first sight trope. I don't care for it because there's nothing we know. I don't know. Again, like without fate or magic or the world making you be bound together, I need a reason why you love somebody.
Yes.
Like that's what's missing. And you can't just, voila, we're in love. Let's deal with this. That doesn't work.
No, it doesn't work at all. And they were just like, yeah, no, we flirted and then he didn't show up. So now I hate him. But now I love him again because he's so nice to me. And I'm like, well, why is he being nice to you? Why does he care? This isn't a love story. This is just a lust story. But you're forcing it to be love without giving us any of that love.
Although she couldn't really say she loved him for a while. And then when she did, she was like, oh, I don't know why I couldn't just say that. I love him. I'm like, girl.
She says it. She runs away. She says it. She doesn't say it. She runs away. It was just constant.
And then he's like, you hurt my feelings. What do you think? He like, why are you jerking me around, basically? And she's like, forget you about. And she runs away and cries.
All of that needed to be cut. Just ruthlessly cut from the book.
I thought it was pretty funny. I got a good laugh out of it, if nothing else.
Laughed. I just rolled my eyes and went, oh my God, she's so stupid.
She is. She's not the smartest. She's not very emotionally mature. And I know she's like got this habit of stealing from how she had to raise herself, basically. She's created this habit of stealing. And I don't know, are we supposed to be cool with them, like, stealing stuff and taking money to do it?
Yeah, because she does it from the quote-unquote bad guys.
Okay. I don't know, but in the beginning, she was going to go work for someone who was a bad guy. And even Key was like, you were going to work for him? Like, Key was, like, kind of put out by it.
Yeah. No,
she's like, yeah.
She's like, he has the money, so I'm going to do this. And my moral code says I won't hurt little people, but I'll take money from the big people. And I was like, yeah, no.
I think I was missing, I didn't feel the Robin Hood vibes she was going for.
She didn't have any.
Mm-hmm.
It was all selfish. It was, I'm working for these people because I want money and I want to be rich and wealthy and I want to have, you know, my fancy home. I want to have my fancy stuff. I want to do what I want to do. So it was very selfish and self-absorbed and not at all like there was no goodness. There was no Robin Hood in any of that.
Yeah, it even came out like, again, like her need or her fondness for nice things when they got that 4-bedroom like hideout house or whatever, and they all come back after the team finds each other. And then they all split off to the rooms, and Nyla's like, he gets the room with the bathroom, and she points out, oh, you got the best room. And he's like, of course I did. I'm like, okay, so.
But they were shitty sheets.
Yeah, they were shitty sheets.
These sheets are too scratchy. I don't like them. I don't want to die after sleeping on these sheets.
She said, at least I'm going to get me some, so I don't have to worry about the last thing being I slept on these scratchy sheets.
That was a choice.
I'm like, okay, got it.
Okay,
so yeah, we don't like Lexi that much, but you know what? She wasn't really around in the previous books that much for us to get any opinion of her previously.
No, she wasn't. She was just off doing her own thing, and everybody would talk about how much they loved her and how much they missed her and why they wanted her around. And so it felt like a letdown because I was like, this is the person you care about? She's literally just off stealing and taking money from rich, awful people because she wants the money. She didn't need to go to Volovia in chapter 1. It was literally like, I just want this money. And so that's why I'm doing this.
It was a job, period. Yeah.
I was like, you can't get this money anywhere else. You can't get better money in safer situations. You have to put yourself in stupid situations and think you're infallible, but, you know, you're actually the worst at this.
Okay. Lexi got some work to do. The character of Lexi is lacking. Okay,
and again, like, Nyla's just as bad. He fell in love with her after flirting once, and that was it.
Oh my God. And if Nyla kept saying, he said so many times comments about his stamina and performance, I would roll my eyes like, again, we're making this comment again.
My dude. No. Stop it. Sit down. He lost that stamina because he stopped being able to work, and you know, it was just, oh my God.
Like, that's his only claim to fame is his stamina and performance. And he always just innuendo constantly when they're talking about different things.
It was
he's
innuendo
like,
and always that one phrase where he's like, you're my treasure, you're my heart, you're my love. Like, he constantly, from
he's
day
calling her
one.
Taro constantly, which meant my treasure. That was like her nickname.
Yeah.
And she goes, stop calling me that. And then he just keeps doing it.
Yeah. Which is like, okay, first of all, why are you so in love with her? Why are you so head over heels in love with her?
The easiest thing to do would have been to make it where she saves his life, right? That instantly creates like this bond. You saved me. And the author didn't use that. She could, I mean, I'm trying to think of other ways that would have made him feel obsessive about her.
I mean, okay, so if she had stolen something out of his house, this could have been a very good enemies to lovers, like a true enemies to lovers, where, you know, if she'd had a job, had to steal something out of his house, got paid for it, and he was very impressed that somebody could bypass all of his security, that would immediately show, okay, this is why he's interested in her, but not necessarily he doesn't have to start cooking her meals right away and calling her his heart on page 1. It could be like, okay, it's mutual respect. You can defeat me, but now I want to, you know, get back at you. I want to take something from you. I want to prove myself to you or whatever.
Yeah.
And then it could have been like a lot of sparring and anger and sexual tension before they finally fucked it out. Like, but no, it was literally just over and over again. We flirted and he left me and he stole my job. And I was like, are you 16? Like, what is this? Is money
a whole
that
lot of them
important to you?
It was all about them having this one-upmanship in the flirting arena. It was like they were almost doing it as a competition. Who could flirt harder?
Yeah. And if it had been a competition from the start, not just like he walks in and talks somebody out of her job and takes it over himself through a conversation. Like if it had been an action, if they were both breaking into the house at the same time and he got it first or she got it first, and then it's like this almost co-worker style vibe of like, okay, well, I'm going to take this job and you're going to have that job and we're going to fight each other. Like that could have been so good.
So what do you think the main romance, like, not plot, but like the theme was for this book? Like book 1, it was enemies to lovers. Book 2, I feel like it was friends to lovers, I guess.
That one was more grumpy sunshine kind of friends
grumpy
to
sunshine
lovers.
And what is this one?
Honestly, I don't know. Because I think it's just insta-love. Because he's instantly, immediately in love with her. And she was like, he flirted with me and I was falling for him right then.
Yeah.
But now I hate him. So it's almost second chance, not quite enemies to lovers.
It's not really second chance.
It's not
it hasn't been long enough to be second chance.
No, you have to be in an actual relationship.
Yeah.
Like go on dates, maybe get married and then break up. And then second chances, getting back together. And this was they flirted once and didn't have a date. So it's not second chance in the normal ways. But that's almost the only trope it falls under.
Missed connections? I don't know.
Yeah, because it's like they're not enemies. They're not.
No.
It's insta-love.
They've worked together before.
Yeah.
They love the same people. They're on the same team. I don't know.
It was annoying. I was annoyed by all of them.
Yeah, the romance was very weak. I want to root for the couple. If I can't feel myself saying, oh, come on, guys, get it together.
Because she had the miscommunication trope where Lexi can't say I love you. And she dragged that out and beat that to the last possible miscommunication. I'm going to say, I think I love you. He's not going to respond the way I want him to, even though he's saying, I love you back. He's saying, you're my heart, you're my treasure, but that's not, I love you. That's, I like you.
I'm like, where do you even get that from? That makes no sense.
It makes no sense. No sense.
You're my heart. That means you like me. What?
Yeah.
That's dumb.
It's so dumb because he's been telling her from the very beginning, like cooking and doing all this means like you're courting somebody. He's been very open and honest and intentional, and I don't know why, but like he was. And then this.
It would have been better if she had just said, I thought it was a line. I didn't think you meant it. Yeah, I didn't know what it meant.
Yeah. Not like, oh, I just thought you liked me. I thought it was a line to get me in bed. Yeah. That's a little insulting to his honor, but whatever.
Which you had already insulted him in that way.
Yeah,
and he
you
was
keep
mad about
insulting him in that way.
Yeah.
Repeatedly. And thank God he wasn't as bad as the last guy with his honor and like, oh my God, I broke my vow to you. I swore to keep you safe and your arm is broken. So now I must repent and punish myself and give you cookies.
Oh my God.
Thank goodness we didn't have that. I was happy we didn't have that.
Yeah. There's that. Okay. What's the next thing on your list?
Oh God. Okay. Well, the whole world building bullshit, I just...
You're like, it was whack.
Again, like if this had just been contemporary, no space stuff, fine. it would have been better. But why are these highly evolved aliens building the technology that cripples themselves?
Yeah, that's weird. Like, why would you build that?
Mm-hmm. Why would you build it and then use it?
That is weird.
I know you're trying to like fight amongst yourselves, but everybody was affected by it. There was no like, oh, I have this magical chip that if I hold, my powers aren't affected by this. No, that they literally crippled themselves. And I was like, why would you build this when humans can sneak in, take it, recreate it, and then start the war over and actually have a way to defeat you in the future?
Mm-hmm. Which, you know, Key constantly does. She's like, oh, grab that. We can look at it later. Grab it.
Which was smart of her.
Yeah,
because the Empress is still a crazy bitch.
I just went along with the story, but I didn't quite understand what was happening. Like, why are we doing this? Like, what is...
None of it made sense.
And then the whole guy that was held prisoner, you know, the old general guy or whatever, they were all trying to get... He had this little Scooby-Doo moment where he's like spewing what the plan was or what the intent was. And it still didn't make sense to me. No. I'm like, so they don't want to trade with you. They don't want to deal with you. So you want to start a war?
I mean, that's in a very American mindset. And as somebody who's, you know, born and raised and grown up in America, yeah, that's what our government officials sometimes say and do.
That is so stupid.
But it is really stupid. And the fact they're like, oh, we have to drag him to court. We have to show everybody. We have to figure out who else is in here.
Stupid. I'm like, why do we even...
me? Are you kidding me?
And it seemed like he was going to get off anyway. And then, of course, they're like, oh, what jail are you taking him to? Where are you taking him? And Lexi, like, I got to go take care of this.
If she had done that, I would have respected her more. But I don't think she would have pulled the trigger.
She kept saying, just let me kill him. And
and I was like, no. You're not. No. Mm-mm. No.
And again, the suspense was not there. I didn't believe there was any real danger for anyone.
Never.
Even though we were going through these moments where it seemed like it might be dangerous, but I just felt like, okay, it's going to be a happily ever after. And that's all I could think about. So it was just like, okay, it's just A to B to C to D to E to get there. But I didn't like feel any tension that whole time. And that is not good.
Well, it's because she never killed off a good guy. In any of the books, no good people ever, nobody important, no good secondary characters that we've come to love has ever died. And that loses that tension.
It does. Like, no one can die.
No one can die. No one is going to be harmed at all, ever. Which is very frustrating because, yeah, you lose that tension where you're like, oh, she's going to... Or she has a little bomb in her hand. Uh-oh. I was actually surprised that, like, she was the only one who blew up, though. I was like, how big was that bomb? Was it just this? It was tiny, I guess.
Well, I mean, she had the bomb and then, you know, what's his face? Nilo yanked her away real fast.
Yeah, but I thought, like, the explosion area might hit other people.
Maybe it didn't have that big of a radius. I don't know.
It was fine. It was whatever. They were safe.
No. It's fine, everybody.
Everybody's fine. Everybody's safe.
Continue on. Yeah. I don't know. That's unfortunate. I think that there was some opportunity to really ratchet up the excitement, the fighting, the war prevention. I don't know. You could have really made it a lot more something if you weren't going to focus on the romance you know, I don't know. It's like I feel like the author wanted to be even with the romance and the other drama.
I think if she had just done a few more things, like if she had killed somebody on the team, like if Anya had died, that would have pushed everybody over the edge. That would have really
the new engineer,
Anya.
Yeah. The engineer lady,
the engineer,
the new one,
who I have a whole other. She's on my list. Don't worry. Like if she had been killed off just because she was a secondary character, not very important, but important to the crew. Like if she had died tragically in the middle of everything, if it looked like Morton was actually going to really escape at one point, or if he did escape, or if he had better reasons, or if he had more stuff planned and ready to like take everybody down. Like if there had been, or if the starship had been shot down instead of just like gently placed and abandoned and, you know, whatever. Like it was just, the plot was so easy but convoluted unnecessarily at the same time.
Yeah.
And I don't know.
Yeah.
If she'd done just a few things, the stakes would have been so much higher. There would have been so much more tension. Things would have made sense. It would have been better. Even
if maybe one of Eli's people died or something. You know, but not the medic. We need the medic.
We need the medic.
Girl.
So yeah, don't kill the medic.
Yeah.
But what's her name?
The other one.
Woman he's in love with.
I don't know. I can't even remember her name right now.
Yeah,
she's
I read
so
it and
in the background. She's so
name.
in the background.
She is.
I'm like, okay, you're in love with these two people. You're at. It just, I felt like, again, it kind of came out of nowhere. And then suddenly we're here. You're trying to have a threesome relationship with these people. And I don't even know the woman's name. I can't even remember her name. She's just around.
I know. I think she had 1 or 2 lines of dialogue in book 1. I don't think she spoke at all in book 2. And she definitely didn't speak here. We just saw her silently moving through everything. Like it was so. But if she had died and the crew was like, oh no, and Eli, you know, wanted to go kill some stuff, like that would have added so much more tension to the story.
Something. Give us something. Somebody had to die is the point. You cannot get through these kind of epic, quote unquote, journeys, these big, dangerous missions, and people not die. Yeah. No, somebody needed to die. Yeah. And that would, as long as it's not the main couple of this book, it could have been anybody else. Shit. I mean, it could have been Torrent for all we give a fuck. Like that was, their relationship was 2 books ago. No. Romance rules say you can't kill a main character, even if it's a different book. If I wrote it, I'd be breaking all the rules, breaking the rules. And then people would be crying and be like, why did you do this to me? And I would be like, yes. As your editor, I would yell at you. I wouldn't let you do it. I mean, I'd be like, kill Eli. Just kill the only black person in the room. Oh, God, no. I don't know. Just something to like, just make it jarring and hit home in a way that. Like, because every time they were in a predicament, it was always like, okay, well, we're going to hide behind this outcropping of rocks. And oh, good, we're safe because they didn't come this far. And I'm like, okay, good. Like, I don't feel any tension. I don't feel scared for you. I don't feel like you're actually going to die or anything. It's just... just whatever. Torrent shows up with Tavi and everybody, and he's just like levitating people and doing the whole thing, doing all the things. I'm like, oh my God. And what's his name? What's the guy from the last book? Varen or what's his name? Yeah, Varen, I think. Varen. He's coming in, just hiding people and just, you know, they're all just showing up and doing their thing. Actually, I do kind of like that everyone showed up in this book. I do like that instead of them being on the outskirts. At some point, everyone converges and we're all here. That was fun.
Yes, but it was still really annoying. And also, I kept going like, okay, so he's the boogeyman, but he's tapped out. He can't do this. I thought this was so easy for him. Last book, we learned that, like, it was so easy. Why is it not easy anymore?
Yeah, he's supposed to be the scariest of the scary because he can trick his own people.
Mm-hmm.
And now he's tapped out. He's so tired.
He's so tired. Like,
he needs to sleep.
Me? Are you kidding me? What the hell?
Oh my God. Okay, wait. This is a great time to take a break. We've been rambling. We're going to take a break. Check out the commercials, guys. By listening to those, you're supporting the podcast. And when we return, we will finish our conversation and rate this book. We'll be right back. Okay, welcome back, everyone.
What do you want to complain about? Because I've been going on and on.
I feel like I felt so bored with it still. Mm-hmm. And overall, and I think I've been saying that through my responses to your issues, it's just boring.
It is.
And again, like I did not want to start this book. I'm not even going to lie. I said, okay, I got 3 days to get this thing finished. I guess I should start now. Mm-hmm. And so I started, and then I'm like, oh, TikTok. And I started again. I'm like, oh, shit. I better watch this show. And then I'm like, I found every reason under the sun to get distracted. Yeah, I'm in the gym trying to listen to this, doing weights, and I'm like, oh, wait, what's on that TV? It was a mess. And then I have like 2 hours left. I'm like, fuck, I gotta hurry up. And I hate that feeling. When any book takes me there and I feel like that, it's just a miss for me.
Oh, absolutely. Yes.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of potential there that she just didn't tap into because this kind of overlapped with the ending of the last book. So we knew what was going on with them. And then they're like, oh, well, they just disappeared. And I was like, what do you mean? Give me something. Give me more. And they're like, oh, they're just like sitting here being held captive, but also they were free enough to land so that they were able to, some people leave the ship, but not everybody left the ship, but they were held captive, and then other people were caught later or not later.
How did they get caught? How did Torin and Tavi get caught?
I don't know. That was never explained. It was just like, they're gone. We have to go save them. Yeah, there were so many plot holes. There were so many inconsistencies. There were so many ways that this could have been fleshed out and made better, and it just wasn't. And that's disappointing. When you're in the last book of a trilogy and you're like, I don't care anymore. I just want somebody to die to give me some kind of emotion. Like, that's not a good sign.
No. Not at all. And even the little romantic scenes between this couple didn't pull me back in, really.
Oh, no.
Like we talked about earlier, they weren't bad scenes.
No, they were a lot more descriptive than the way she's been in the past. And I was glad that they were having sex much, much earlier and not shoved in the last chapter.
But it still wasn't, like, powerful enough that I'm like, ooh. Okay.
No, it was very vanilla.
Yeah.
And the emotions weren't quite hitting it. Because Lexi was refusing to think about emotions. She was refusing to be like, oh, yes, I do love him. It was, I just want to have sex with him because I just want to have sex with him. And it felt very...
She barely wanted to do that because she would say, oh, he's like, sensing my emotions, and I don't want him to know that I really like him. He'll know if we do it, and then she's like, okay, fuck it, we'll do it anyway.
Her shields are so weak that he would have felt that regardless of if he was in her mind or not. Because those Philovians are so powerful, they can just take random thoughts and emotions out of people's heads. as they walk by on the street, as we've been told for the last 2 books.
You know, I just don't understand. Okay, so we went from her, same as the last book with the last couple, don't get in my head, stay out of my head, to, oh, I feel comfort feeling this cool presence over my brain 24/7. So this is the thing now, we're just good with them just being all up in your brain 24/7.
Apparently, yeah. Which is so weird. And
Fuck that.
Yeah, no.
I don't care. I don't want my damn husband in my head.
Hell no. I don't want anybody in my head. I don't even want to be in my head.
No. No. So I feel like while you're fighting or there's a conflict or there's danger, okay, sure. But every damn day, all day? No.
And Key's like, I just love him and it's fine. I'm like, you're 16 too.
Yeah, it's fine. He can tell everything I'm thinking. I have no privacy, no problem.
Ugh, no.
Gross. That's not sexy to me at all. I mean, because if we take it to the bare bones, most simplest of simple stories, hell, Edward Cullen was turned on by the fact that he couldn't read Bella's thoughts. He's like, I can't figure out what you're saying. And I love it. I mean, who wants to be in someone's head 24/7?
Really weird people. It made no sense. It made no sense. And it also really fucked with the whole miscommunication thing. Because if he can feel her feelings,
yes,
he should know that she's in love with him because she's feeling those feelings.
Yeah. Despite what's coming out of her mouth, you know what her feelings are.
Yes. And also, she could feel some of his feelings in reverse.
Yes, so she would know.
Plot
hole again. You're so good at this. They're so great. It can't be helped. Sorry, this is just a part of me shielding for you. But yet I'm still oblivious.
Yeah, we're feeling each other's emotions. We're literally inside each other's heads. And yet we're both so oblivious and so unable to comprehend the other person's emotions or motivations or anything. Like, no.
And then the one part, he can't understand that, but she says, wow, I wish, Nyla would have cooked. And he got that clear.
Yeah.
He got that loud and clear. I'm like, what the hell? She's just talking about food.
Yeah, no, it was so inconsistent with how he can read her emotions or what he sees or what he senses and then how he reacts to it. And it was so wildly inconsistent.
Yeah, it was.
Which was frustrating.
It definitely was. So I think that was my main gripe, was the boredom. And again, just I didn't love any of the characters. I didn't love the relationship. I needed one thing to grasp onto for dear life, and I didn't have anything.
All the secondary characters became like paper thin. They have no personality. They have nothing. There was nothing for us to root for, to be like, oh yeah, we want this throuple to work out, but we never see them in conversation. We didn't even see the three of them like really together other than like 2 seconds as they're walking through a doorway. And I was like, that's it? That's all you're going to give me? This is your diversity, the black man and the gayness in the whole book is just them walking through a doorway? Like that is your level of diversity in this book?
Yeah, that's it. That's all you get.
Okay, so is it pronounced Anya or Anja?
I feel like it's Anya, but I'm not sure.
I've been saying Anya in my head, but I might be saying that wrong. So anyway, do you remember way back in the first book when she first boarded the ship and was asking to stay with them because she was accidentally sleeping with the head honcho's wife? And like needed safe passage, and they're like, yeah, you can sleep with whoever you want to sleep with. I interpreted that as she's like very much a butch lesbian. Like she's been a butch lesbian in my head this whole time.
Really?
Yes. And then, maybe it was actually bisexual and she might have done something with Eli and his other 2 lovers and they were being a foursome or whatever. But no. Now she's just in love with the stupid little prince boy?
What happened? Like, I wish they didn't discard her whole original story.
Yeah.
Like, if that would have come up in some kind of way, it would have been better, because that came out of left field. I'm like, what? Now she's into him?
Yeah, no, it made no sense. And it felt very, okay, like, I'm bi, so I understand bi erasure is real, but like, it felt like lesbian erasure. I was like, I thought she was a butch lesbian this whole time. And I was like, yay, butch lesbian in the background. But now she's like running away and crying over this little prince boy. And I'm like, what in the straight heteronormative bullshit is this?
You know, I didn't even really consider her that much. Like, she was there, but I never even considered her like that. I just said,
kind of important in book 1.
Yeah.
We saw her a little bit in book 2. Like, there were a couple scenes with her and Key. And then she was nothing in this book because Lexi doesn't know her. So she had no bearing on the story at all and disappeared, which sucked.
Yeah.
Like, she could have been so interesting. I wanted to root for her. I wanted to be interested in that, but no.
And because it was told from, about Lexi and Nyla, we never saw any scenes between her and the prince. We didn't see any interaction. It was all off page.
Yeah.
You were just supposed to just believe that suddenly she had a crazy crush on him and he liked her.
She's so in love with him that when he leaves, she has to run out the door and cry. I'm like,
oh my God. And I think it was Lexi. It was like, go after her. Maybe it was Key that said go after her. And I'm like, what the fuck? When did this happen? How?
Yeah, no,
Why?
It made no sense. It came out of left field. It felt very much like I just need to make sure everybody has a relationship and everybody's paired off and everybody's happy.
And why
even
is
if they're
that?
not.
Why do we have to do that?
I don't know. It just felt very annoying. And I didn't like it at all.
It was like, I think it was feeling very BDB, where, every single person has a mate. Every single person pairs off.
Yes.
No one gets left out.
Even to the point where Eli has 2 lovers, and if they're fighting, that's okay. The 3 of them will work it out eventually.
And I still didn't really feel like they were supposed to be a threesome, because even Eli said, well, it's me and her or me and him, but we're not really together. That's not a threesome is you guys being together.
Yeah.
All together.
All of them all together all of the time. And her excuse was like, oh, I'm
his boss.
I'm his boss. But like, he's the medic.
Yeah.
The medic's not really
He's not really taking orders like that.
No. Medics are like outside the hierarchy, so that's a bullshit excuse.
I don't know. It's like half-assed. It's halfway.
It was so half-assed. It was just like an afterthought.
And I didn't understand why she even put it in there, honestly. Like, I don't understand, because this is not her style. Why are you even trying for it?
I think for the diversity.
But
honestly, I think she just wanted diversity, and also to like pair everybody off, to be like, okay, everybody has a partner, everybody's happy, we're all good here.
Just let Eli be with Havel. Why did we have to do
because
with
then
the
one
female
woman
officer?
Would be alone, except she could have died.
Make her asexual or something and be done with it. Like, I don't know. Like, I just don't think everyone needs a pairing.
No, they don't. They really don't. And it gets really annoying when all of this is just like, okay, we're perfectly matched up.
Something.
Everybody's happy together.
Yeah. Make her the mom of the group, where she's a widow and has no interest. There's something you could have done with her instead of
she could have already been married and her husband was back on Volovia.
Yeah, or that.
There could have been so many other things.
Just don't do it.
We didn't need the throuple.
No, because we didn't even get to see any of the fun stuff.
We didn't get to see any of the relationship.
No, and she wouldn't have written it anyway. It wouldn't have been good. Like I said last episode, I couldn't imagine her writing such a scene.
Oh, hell no. Oh, hell no. That would absolutely have to be fade to black.
Off
cut
page
off,
completely.
Just like start kissing.
They shut the door and that is it. I'm like, oh my God. don't know. And I didn't even feel like I can't remember her name, but whatever it is in Havel, we didn't have any interactions between them. So even if you're going to do this type of relationship, there needs to be something between all three of the people in the group.
Yes.
Not with one connective tissue. That's not what that is.
And you can show sexual tension in so many different ways. And you can also break point of view and like jump heads and have a scene from Eli's point of view as he's dealing with this. You don't have to stay strictly in Lexi's mind for the whole thing.
No. Because, I mean, they also could have just made Eli polyamorous or something. Not that he wanted all three of them together. He just liked multiple relationships.
Which is fair, too. Like, that's a valid relationship style. And he absolutely could have done that.
Which would have made more sense to me, but...
Yeah.
Anyway. Yeah, we could probably complain some more.
Probably, but should we just wrap it up and rate it?
I feel like there was a lot more that happened. Obviously, we didn't cover the whole plot by any means, but I'm kind of just ready to be done with it. I'm even second guessing reading this prequel, though, for real. Like, even though we told everyone we would do it.
Yeah.
I feel like maybe we can do something instead.
Let's do
like
something
the promises
nicer for all of us.
Yeah, we'll give you guys something that we actually like. So you don't have to watch us complain for 30 minutes about this. Because I'm sure it's just going to yield more complaints.
Yeah, probably.
I can't imagine it would be much different.
No.
Okay, let's rate it. Let's just rip the Band-Aid off. Do you want to go first?
I'm giving it 2 stars. I can't.
Dun, dun, dun. Oh my God.
There are good things and there are bad things. And I didn't complain about Lexi and her wigs.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Oh my, okay, so really fast. Can you believe that in a space opera where they have all of this essential magic shit, science stuff, she still has to use contour, makeup, and wigs to hide her identity, and glasses to be like, oh yes, this changes the shape of my face enough. Like, that's so 2020.
Science.
If you're going to put me in the future, do something sciencey. Don't do makeup.
Right.
Sorry.
No,
2 stars. I'm so annoyed.
I think that's valid because we're in the future is futuristic. We should have like more cool engineering to do things.
Yeah.
Make a mask, print a 3D mask and like slap it on your face or something. Or like have some kind of
chip that you put on your face that actually changes everything in your hair color, and it's not like, oh, I just have to pack my wigs and bring my makeup and put on these specialty cat eye glasses. And I was like, that's so 2024. Yeah, it's so modern, it's so today, but you're supposedly like 1,000 years in the future traveling through space and you're still relying on brushes to contour your face.
Yeah.
No.
Okay, so I think I'm going to be in agreement with the 2-star. For a minute, I was thinking maybe I would give it a 3, but after we talked, I'm like, I can't. I just, in good faith, can't do it.
Same.
It was just
I was
going
to do a 3-star earlier, and I was like, no, this is 2-star. This is just, ugh.
Yeah, so... Okay, so join us for our next series. If you are on Patreon, you already know what it is.
Yay!
I've already
it's gonna be so much better.
It. Yeah, and if you're in book clubs, you also would know what it is by the time this releases. But if you're just listening to the podcast, you just gotta go on Twitter or X or Facebook or something and find out. We're not saying it today, so... That's another reason you should join us in the book clubs app or on Patreon, so you know all the things and you can like tell us all your feelings about things, because you know we love to hear that.
Yes.
I think that's it. What do you think, Casey?
I think that's it.
All right, so this has been fun despite the 2-star rating. It's always fun talking with you.
Yes, always fun. It's always
fun. Thank you guys for listening to this entire episode. We appreciate you for doing that. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and we will catch you in the next one. Take care of yourselves. Bye guys.
Everybody.
Did you enjoy today's episode? If so, please head over to Apple Podcast or Spotify and leave a positive 5-star review. It's a simple action that makes a big difference. You can also like this episode on your favorite podcast player or share it with your fellow bookworm friends on social media. Joining the Shelf Addiction Patreon family is another way to support us. For as little as $2 a month, you can help our team create even more amazing bookish content. If Patreon isn't your thing, consider becoming a supporter on the Spreaker app for just $5 a month and gain access to exclusive audio-only content. You can find me everywhere, including Instagram, X, and TikTok under the handle Shelf Addiction. Join our book club of the same name on the book club's website and app, where we discuss all things bookish and more in a safe space. The Shelf Addiction podcast is a part of the Nerdy Maven Network. Thanks for tuning in.